that's the truth right there from the very classic LD and the very eccentric Goldie of blessed memory.
Eccentric.
Yes. Very, very.
We're not just ready for Goldie.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Such a jam right there. You know it. And of course, you guys know that another Throwback Thursday is here. And as we love to say, this is where mature minds meet to reflect on memories and music from the past.
Yes, so if you love a good time, you're in for a sweet ride. Trust me. Thank you for joining us. You know that it's the joy in the crowd. It's your hostess with the misters. It's your home girl. It's your girlfriend next door. My name is Honeypot.
One day you just say, my name is Olayemi. Like you just throw me off.
Okay, so my name is Olayemi, actually.
Give them!
Okay, Honeypot.
You can call me All right, guys, my name is Foladele. Welcome aboard.
All right, now we'll start with the latest stories and entertainments, then take today's celebrity birthday celebrants, and then rewind time to this day in entertainment history.
Righty, I will be in charge of today's laughs on Tweetville, and then later we'll chew it off. Then take the news recap, of course, and then there'll be Where Are They Now? And finally, we'll be talking about something very special. Yes, 5 Nollywood classics we would love to see remade. I'm looking forward to that one for sure. Guys, I'm ready to get this throwback party started, and I know Honeypot is ready as well.
Yes.
But the question is, are you ready?
Are you ready?
I hope you are, because we're starting anyway.
Let's do this.
Sorry if we butchered the house sound.
I'm telling you, but then just understand that music is universal and we just love it. So sometimes when you just love something, you just be singing rubbish and
we just, sorry guys, I was having people at home, we're sorry. But absolute jam right there, Jeremiah Giang. And it's so funny because people are, have been wondering, what's up, where has he been?
Yes.
I saw a video, I think it was earlier this week, that he did about how tough it is for, musicians out there, yeah. And he was saying how, look, I'm not asking you to send money to me or whatever. I've been putting out music. People that are saying, where's Jeremiah? I've been putting out music. Just, keep up on my page, share my post. That's how you can help me. And it just became a bit of a debate online and all that. But look, we're just happy to know that you're fine and you're still putting out music. And yeah.
Because the other day I spoke about him and I'm like, okay, maybe he's one of those people that have moved on to other things.
No.
You know how we talk about how people do music for a while. Yes, they still have it in them, but then they're just doing other things because they know that, you can't be there forever.
Yeah.
Time and season happens too.
It's still there. Interesting. I like your hair, by the way. I couldn't pay attention to anything. I was just looking at.
I like your hair too.
More chat. All right, guys, let's get right into the entertainment news. Yes, let's move on with the show. Neola calls out former record label boss for sexual assault. Nigerian singer Neola has come out to speak about the sexual assault she faced in the hands of the CEO of Westside Music, Solomon Areya, while she was signed to the label. She made this known during an Instagram live session with gospel singer Buki on Buki's Place, where she talked about everything ranging from music to female empowerment. Take a look at this.
I actually have never really talked about this. I was assaulted by my label owner and I was just done.
What happened? What happened?
So, I mean, obviously everybody knew who I was dating at the time and, and he'd be like, why? Like, what do you see in this guy? Like, let me take care of you. I'm laughing about it now. It's not funny. He'd be like, let me take care of you, When I had a video to do, he'd be like, he would just unnecessarily hold me up, So I walked into his office and was like, Nela, come here, come and give me a hug. And I was like, I hugged you when I came. Like, hello, sir. I was like, come and give me a hug. And I said, no. And he got up from his desk, came over where I was, and literally came and tried to squeeze my tiny little body. And even in the process, like, my back broke.
Alrighty, as at the time of filing this report, Solomon Areya has not commented on the sexual allegations leveled against him by Neola. Alright, so crazy stuff. It's been a climate of boldness and people speaking up and everything. And so Neola kind of followed suit in that line. And so Buki was having a live session, and of course she popped by, and it was with her, and she, she talked about a lot, including this. And And I don't think she's trying to go legal with it. I think she was just sharing her industry story, before she joined EME with Banky W. She was with Westside and all that. And she talked about the person who she was dating, which was Freestyle at the time. And I just think I don't, so I can't, it's not one of those things we say, we'll see how this unravels, except maybe Solomon decides to speak up.
Yeah.
But I just, it's not the first time we're hearing about this with, you know, the movie industry, with the music industry as well, where, you know, if you want to go further, let me just rub your arm, literally, or let me rub other places. And yeah, I give her kudos for speaking up. Obviously, we were not there and we don't know what exactly transpired. It's always tough when, you know, someone speaks up about rape or sexual assault, but for her to come out and speak about this, because we know the stigma that is frequently associated with someone speaking up about that kind of experience, maybe rape or sexual assault. So yeah, kudos to her for that.
So as you said, of course, people have been speaking out, and sometimes people ask the question, like, why didn't they speak out that time and all that? But I understand that, you know, this time has brought a lot of boldness to people, especially with the fact that some people have done it and some people feel comfortable when some people have gone ahead of them, and then they take a cue from what the person has said and all that, so that it won't be done to other people.
Yes.
And I think I like the way it is being done right now, because in fact it is bringing a lot of awareness to the abusers, because I think for some reasons perhaps some of them did not know that, you know, what they were doing was wrong, or they couldn't even get away with what they were doing. So I think it's going to actually serve as deterrent to, you know, them, and the others will learn from it, and maybe it will just stop people from doing this. The world is so evil, guys. I was watching the news the other day, or listening to or reading a piece, and then I saw that a 3-month-old baby was abused. I said,
And I'm
what
so
shape does a 3-month-old...
And I'm so glad you said that, because I was ready to move on until you brought this up. And I'm so glad you said this, because this is just a note to people who always say, oh, why was she wearing this? Why was she at so place? I hear, so my mom runs an NGO, and they do a lot of, you know, women empowerment stuff. And I know about stories of domestic violence and rape where it's 3-year-olds, where it's 3-month-olds, and you're like, what can this baby possibly want to offer you? This thing makes me actually get very emotional. I'm just going to
Because if we continue to talk about this, I mean, we will just sleep here. I told you that I watched something online the other time, and it was, you know, this undercover was trying to, she is a 37-year-old mother of one, and so she looks like a child somehow, like they had to make her up, and so they had to pretend, because they couldn't actually use a child for it. Right. So they were now looking at all this internet, you know, pedophiles, how they go about all of these things, and he exposed a lot of things. You'll be just so shocked. Wow. All right, let's move on. Bill Cosby granted appeal in sexual assault case. Embattled American comedian and actor Bill Cosby's sexual conviction might get overturned, as the Pennsylvania Supreme Court has agreed to review 2 aspects of his 2018 sex crime trial, where he was convicted on 3 counts of aggravated indecent assault. Reacting to this new development, Andrew White, who is Bill Cosby's spokesperson, issued a statement where he wrote, America and the world is witnessing the 23rd day of protests regarding the abuse and murder of Black people, and just at the hand of corrupt police officers. But these extremely vital and important protests are exposing the corruption that lies within the criminal justice system, district attorneys and judges. As we have all stated, the false conviction of Bill Cosby is so much bigger than him. It's about the destruction of all Black people and people of color in America. If you would recall, in April, Bill Cosby's team had expressed concern for his health in prison during this coronavirus pandemic, thereby requesting an early release of the embattled comic actor, but the request was denied. Bill Cosby, who still insists on his innocence, is currently serving a 3 to 10-year jail sentence for sex crimes, having already spent almost 2 years behind bars. So, I mean, what do you say to this, Bill Cosby? I mean, it brings the assault thing to the fore again.
It's, even though you said moving on, we're still moving back into it.
Yes.
But I remember when Bill Cosby's accusers first started speaking up, one of the things that people were saying was, oh, you just want to bring a Black man down, you know, after such a legacy, you just want to tear him apart and all that. And one of the questions I kept asking was, there were so many women, I'm trying to remember the exact number, but there were, I'm talking double figures, like
so. If we wanted to think maybe this was doctored, I mean, all of those women, who paid them to do that?
And so in my head, it was just like, But could all these people have the same, and the pattern? And one thing I know, or one thing I've heard about Abisa is that there's usually a pattern that's kind of, we've talked about this, there's usually a pattern that is similar. And it felt like, you know, the drugging them, and when they're unconscious, that's when you move. So I'm just like,
it's
okay.
just like Assassins too.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
You know, they can just have a pattern they use.
So I don't know. So, but obviously, I mean, he's still insisting on being innocent, and he's already done almost 2 years. So I'm sure, you know, people who came out to accuse him, I'm sure they're happy that he's still in there. And I know they want him to stay and do the full time. So I guess, again, we'll have to see how this goes. We'll just have to see if he's going to get let out early or what. Honestly, I just
hope that people are really, really learning, especially in this climate, Nigeria. I saw an interview, I think it was with RMD, and they were asking him questions about, you know, what is happening right now, and rape and all that in that industry, especially when you want to get a job and somebody thinks that it must, you know, rub your back before you,
literally,
you know, and all of that. It is not actually funny because that's happened to a lot of people. Yeah. I do hope that people are learning. They should not think that, oh, this is Nigeria and that, you know, they can still get away with stuff. Because I see that people like to try things.
I really hope that people are learning and unlearning and relearning, okay? All right, final story for today. Eliza Reign rejects Future's child support fund. Future's latest baby mama, Eliza Reign, has reportedly rejected the rapper's offer of $1,000 a month. According to reports, Eliza's lawyer sent an email to Future's lawyer to decline the fund, stating that the amount is too low to take care of their one-year-old daughter. Eliza Reign's lawyer, Brandon Rothbart, had stated that Future had initially testified in court that he doesn't know how much money he makes and has stalled on handing over his financial information, which is why it's been so difficult to determine an amount for child support. Brandon Rothbart had also said in court papers that based on Future's income last year of nearly $20 million, that's according to Forbes, Eliza was entitled to child support of $53,000 a month. If you would recall, Eliza Reign sued Future over paternity and support last year. Then the rapper countersued her for defamation until a DNA test and the court proved that Future was the father of her daughter, or of their daughter in this case. Honeypot. Like, this is why I just go back to the thing of, but then I want to, yes.
What if
however, thank you very much. That's what I was.
How about child support and all that?
Yes, you're on track. I was just about to say I want to say that, but then I remember that divorces can be messy, and child support is a thing that shows its face. However, you have your child.
Back and forth.
It's just such a mess. I mean, Future has quite a number of baby mamas and quite a number of children, and look,
like 9.
Yeah, I can't tell you how to live your life, but what I can say is conduct your business in a way that isn't messy so that you don't have to be in this. Things like this, like you're a music celebrity, just do music. Don't let us like...
But hold on.
Yeah.
What if you're conducting yourself in a way that you don't want it to be messy and you're giving all you can afford at that point, and that person is still saying that the person you have the baby with is saying that this money is not enough?
Yeah, so that's different. But then the fact that we had to do a DNA test.
Oh, well.
How do you not know where you've spread your seed, Honeypot? The fact that we had to go back to do a DNA, we had to first do a court tussle and then come back. How
about the woman sleeping with many people at the same time and you're aware and you're like, okay, yes, I did, but then, I mean, I have to be very sure.
See, all I'm saying is, if you're not ready for picking, behave. If you want to have a child, be ready for the responsibility that comes with it.
So are you saying that they should save us?
Honeypot, leave me.
Talking about this. They bring news to our table.
Okay. Don't be responsible.
Be responsible.
Exactly. So that we can discuss your responsibility too.
Oh my gosh. But then you know that if it is responsibility, we might not really discuss it. How about bad news, traveling first, and making the world juicy?
Honeypot, leave me.
I am just saying here, guys. And that is where we draw the curtains on entertainment news. Now, let's move to celebrity birthday shout-outs. Happy posthumous birthday to George Michael. He was an English singer, songwriter, record producer, and philanthropist who rose to fame as a member of the music duo Wham and later embarked on a solo career. He sold over 80 million records worldwide, making him one of the best-selling music artists of all time. With Wham, he has hits such as Wake Me Up, Before You Go Go, and Last Christmas to his credit. And as a solo artist, some of his hits include Careless, Whisper, and Faith.
Yeah.
Happy posthumous birthday to him.
Yeah.
This was such a great man. And
it was a great loss as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he would have been 57 today. Yeah. And of course, people like to have a career with a group and do very well and still come out, have a solo career, which, I mean, I know him for his solo career and still do very well. Like, that's amazing. 80 million records.
Yes, it's so amazing, and then makes him one of the best sellers of all time.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that is so. And you know, in 1998, it came out as gay.
Yes, he did.
And you know, it caused a lot of, and he's always been supportive of raising funds for HIV/AIDS, you know, and all that charity and all that. And then it was there was something about drugs. He was arrested for lewdness, I think, and you know, it was back and forth. But then you know that thing with creatives, like they can't just have it so smooth like that.
Yeah.
They're so good with their career, and then you are seeing other things. All right. Well, we celebrate you still in death.
Yeah.
All right, now moving on. Lala Anthony is 39 today. She's an American television personality and actress. She came to prominence as an MTV VJ on Total Request Live and then went on to host numerous reality television reunion shows. As an actress, she is known for films such as You Got Served, Think Like a Man, and Think Like a Man 2.
Yeah.
Happy birthday
Happy
to
birthday,
Lala.
Lala. And that's such a hot picture, by the way.
Yes,
but
such
she's
a
had,
hot one.
she's had quite a nice career as well. Some people might know her from acting, but I also remember her hosting all those, like, some of them ratchet. But those reunion shows, those reality shows, yeah, and she's so pretty.
She's so pretty, and she's married to Camilo Anthony, and I know that they actually got married on my birthday in 2000 and what's that, 10? Yeah. Yes, they got married on my birthday, and you know that you know they were going to divorce because she served a separation.
They had issues at some point.
They had because Camilo was actually said to have impregnated another person. But then she said on Wendy Williams' show that they were not divorcing yet, and they're now still divorced at the moment. I think they worked it out.
They're cool, yeah.
They're cool. All right, well, moving on. Ricky Gervais is 59 today. He's an English comedian, award-winning actor, writer, producer, and director. He's popular for his roles in films such as Ghost Town, The Night at the Museum trilogy, The Invention of Lying, and the Netflix comedy series Afterlife. Happy birthday to him.
Ricky Gervais is an absolute mess. Oh my goodness. Like the typical British humor guy.
know,
Like,
right?
he's so crazy. And I love anything that has him in it.
Right?
Oh my God.
Okay, and talking about gay to LGBT, I never just get that correctly. LGBT.
IQ.
Q, all right. So, but LGBT.
Yeah.
So he supports them. He's such a staunch supporter, and it was so happy when they introduced, you know, same marriage in England and Wales, and then he was so supportive, and he's always been like that.
And I find it really interesting. He's been with his partner since like the 1980s, and they've never gotten married, him and her.
And he's an atheist.
Yeah. Interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff, right? Also celebrating today is Olusoji Taiwo, aka Omobanke. The popular Yoruba actor is a year older today. Omobanke.
I can never take him seriously in a movie. I find him so funny.
You know, like he has this very funny stuff he says. He has his lines.
Yes, he
and
does.
then they're so rats like that, like some street stuff.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying to remember. There's a particular one that was even a meme.
Oh, sure, Mama.
Yes, there was that one. There's another one. Ah, it has left me,
He's
but
always
yeah.
saying, oh, sure, Mama.
It is so funny, honestly.
Very,
Ah,
very.
man.
And these are the people that actually make you just enjoy all of those things that you watch, the Nigerian thing. I mean, it's so typical to us, especially when it's
and
streets.
Honeypot love them some African magic.
But I do.
I know.
But I do.
I watch it sometimes for
but
cruise.
I am not denying it. Only that sometimes it frustrates me. Like in the middle of the night, you can just be bored and then you want to tune to it and then you just see grave or cemeteries and say, what is it in this life?
Guys, that's everything we can take on the entertainment news and celebrity birthdays. We'll be back with more of the show after this break, so stay tuned. Enjoy these videos in the meantime.
And then Michael Jackson right there, and may he so continue to rest in peace.
Wow.
He died today, 2009. We
Yes.
remember him every time.
11
He's
years.
such a legend. Yes, how time flies,
Oh
right?
my goodness, I can't believe it's been 11 years. Ah, such a fantastic talent and icon, of course.
Icon,
You would
icon.
not be amiss to call him an icon.
Yes.
Style icon, music icon, every way that you can think of.
I mean, people were talking about using masks and then gloves and all that. It's like, oh,
I was like,
maybe Michael
MJ,
Jackson saw that.
that is a
this
prophet.
would happen. And now that time we're like, what sort of thing is
Yeah.
this? We'll just be using masks and using gloves. And now, my darling, Michael Jackson is looking from heaven down and saying, look at you people.
I told you guys. I told you.
All right, now it's time for Rewind. Take a look.
Let's rewind on this day in 1938, A Tisket a Tasket by Ella Fitzgerald with Chick Webb hits #1. And in 1982, Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott, starring Harrison Ford and Rutger Hauer, is released. Finally, in 1996, still on this day, Independence Day, directed by Roland Emmerich and starring Will Smith, Bill Pullman, and Jeff Goldblum, premieres in Westwood, California. And that's it on Rewind.
Dun, 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 dun. Absolute jam right there. Small People's Anthem by Beautiful Nubia. Honeypot and I are huge fans. We've said this before.
Yeah.
And you know, we are such huge fans of Beautiful Nubia's and such a jam. Gets me in the zone and such a deep message as well.
Deep message,
Such
deep
a
message. Life is just so unfair.
Yep.
Like you wonder why the very good people leave early and then the bad people are there here forever. Gosh, like we can't explain, but God knows. All right.
Amen.
Amen.
Motivate.
Amen, sister.
All right, guys. It's time for Tweetville. Are you ready?
I am ready.
I love it. Energy I'm here for. All right, let's go.
Mr. Bolu tweeted, PhD in agricultural technology, but your 6-year relationship hasn't yielded any fruits. Wow.
Do I know who they are talking about?
Wow. A honeypot.
PhD in agricultural technology, but your 6 years relationship hasn't yielded any fruits.
Why? Are you in a 6-year relationship?
It is not me. I actually know somebody that is on this table.
Hey, does the person have PhD in Kenya or the person just has a
The
6
people
year?
that, you know, oh God, I've come again with Yoruba. I want to only shit time wasters.
Time
They'll just
wasters.
be there. But there, guess what? They'll be doing PhD in Kenya. Oh.
They'll now give you promise ring. Okay.
Ha! All right, girl.
All right, All right, more about relationships. Someone put this up and says, relationship of 4 years just ended now because of genotype. The first question you should ask on a first date is about genotype. But chicken lap, star radler, and barbecue fish won't allow you to reason well. Amen. Amen. See,
Be like me.
As funny as this is,
It is real.
I agree.
No,
And
be
it is
like
so
me.
real. We've had this conversation.
Me, whether you intend to ask me out or not, once you say hi and you're smiling and I'm thinking it is asking out, I'm asking, what's your genotype?
Yeah, my genotype
because
is
obviously
A,
I am
so-
not AA.
Yep.
So if I was AA, I would have been, you know, maybe keeping
Eating
quiet.
chicken
at
lap and drinking.
you know, but I cannot afford to be carried away with chicken lap. All right, girl.
I love it. I'm not A as well. I'm AS actually. So I'm very, particular about such conversations. But honestly, guys, have real conversations on your first date. Don't be so consumed with food. Eat your chicken lap, but be talking on the side. All right. More relationship talk. Someone said, small kiss. You don't close your eye. Pray for church. We're not going to shine eye like go to a lick salt. What?
Well, we're not talking about this, and you said that you cannot just embarrass yourself, like you have wired yourself never to sleep off in church or to be funny, you know?
Wait. So, have you been around a goat that licked salt? Because I don't know.
Maybe it's so tasty, like,
Angle. I love it. Next one. Honeypot, you came with the savage today. I love it. I love it. Next one. What else do we have? All right. More relationship talk. It's relationship day. All right. Me, I be like, it's over. And baby's like, but you said only death can do us apart. And me, I'm like, yeah, but I never specified whose death be. So my grandmother just died. It's over.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
Wow. Men are what? Okay, women are, because this can really be anyone actually. Any reason you're done with the
If
relationship.
I had my glasses on, I would have readjusted, but I have my contact lenses on, so I don't know whether to shift it with my
But honestly, people will look for any reason to leave a relationship.
I am telling you.
My grandmother died, and I said, till death do us part.
You know,
So
when
it's
I
her
was
death.
telling you about this thing about relationship, especially that person who says, you know, tell me you won't leave me because I'll never leave you for
Yeah.
anything. And that person will now be the person that will come back and say, you know what, I'm not feeling this relationship again. And then you're remembering all those fine words. Even you that was playing hard to get at that point, you are now fully in the relationship. Oh
But
my
is this a real life story?
It is not my real life story. Ọ̀rọ̀ ayé mà le o, ara ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́, ọ̀rọ̀ ayé gbẹ̀gẹ́. Let's move on.
That is your theme for today. Next one. Oh my gosh, this picture finished me. So this is a picture of a dog on in an airplane, and the dog is looking back like, you know, longing for something. And someone captioned it, when you sit separate from the person who is supposed to pay your transport fare. Like,
And you don't want embarrassment.
We go so rich, but stop. Oh, how far? Don't forget you're the one paying. I
There are
love
some
it. Like the
situations
dog's face is like,
I'm telling you.
Mash,
Please, I don't want to be stranded.
You people, you are taking me back. It's Thursday, Sha. It's Thursday. I think we have one. Some girls will be snoring like dragon while sleeping, but when they wake up, they'll rush to social media and post, wow, can't believe I slept like a baby. Baby indeed, baby dragon.
Baby dragon.
Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Guys, I'm done.
Side eye. That's what I'm taking to look at people like that. Like this.
I'm done.
I woke up like a baby. Especially when somebody has full makeup on. I woke up like this. You woke up like what?
Right, so Honeypot is super savage today, so I'm just going to move from that to peace over here. Guys, that is
There
it
is
on
peace
today-
everywhere. Peace be unto you too.
Because, all right, sure. That is it on today's Tweetville, and on the first hour of the show, guys. We'll see you at 1 for even more. All right.
Hey, so you know that we've got you covered, and yes, we got you anytime, any day.
Yes.
Welcome back to the show. It's now time to chew it off, where we get to vent about any and everything bothering us.
Take your
Love it.
What
Alrighty.
exactly is your most recent problem, Foladele?
Like that. So...
You're funny.
I'll tell you. So, I was with someone yesterday, and she was telling me that someone sent her a message, WhatsApped her, and said, I hope you've lost weight. And she was like, oh, you know, well, yes, a bit. I've lost this and this now and all that. And he was like, okay, well, you know, your husband needs to be able to carry you on your wedding day. You need to be able to make it easy for the person. And this is true story. This is not like fabu in quotes. This is not bobo. I just don't understand why. So, okay. So something happened again the other day. I was with another person, and someone called her and was like, hello, I'm sending you something on WhatsApp. Please help me edit this picture. And I'm just like, where is the hi, how are you? How's your life been? And then proceed to, so you just show up on WhatsApp. Not, what's up, how have you been? Long time. It's just straight to, I hope you've lost weight. And I'm like, and we said this before, that how do you think, you are freely added, though. You are freely, like, how do we think commenting on people's weight and all those things is a form of greeting? Like, it just shows that you lack the ability to engage in a meaningful conversation. If you can't think of anything else, fine, you're concerned. But, so you've assumed, one, that girl hopes to get married someday. You've assumed that there's no other way that she can enjoy her wedding day if she's not carried. You've assumed that you can just comment on her weight. Like, there's so many assumptions you've made in that conversation, and it just rubbed me off. Although I also blamed her. I'm like, why did you reply? You were now saying, I've lost weight. What? Anybody got what? I'm done.
Okay.
Drops mic.
Thank you so much, Foladele, for this. I'm so glad, I'm so happy that you brought this on because this is actually interwoven. Like,
Genge.
it's like banana.
When my rant
and
becomes Honeypot rant, it's about to go down.
yes, you can now take it from different angles because this is about not minding your business. And you know that on my YouTube channel, I just talked about not minding your business. I mean, they even said that, you know, that urge to shalaye.
Resist the urge to shalaye.
Resist it. As in, you're now shalaying, explaining to the person why, okay, you have heard. I told you now, and I said it in my, in my vlog, and I was talking about how somebody just, met me, a senior colleague, and was like, oh, my wife follows you on, or is your friend on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, yes. And so the person went, so my wife saw your picture and said that, when are you getting married? We should look for a husband for you.
As what? As what? Like, who are you, matchmaker?
And I'm like, excuse me, did I complain to you that something is wrong with me? So the thing is, I don't even know. I think people don't have boundaries. Like, how
it's
to,
not think they don't.
Or what, even
agree.
when you're close to someone, you know that thing about what they say about life. People are so, when you're married, they're asking, are you pregnant? Are you not going to have a child? When you have a child, they'll say, it is only one child. Or in this life, you don't want to have one child.
Born another one.
Born another one, they'll say, and then you now have like football
boys.
team. They now say, family planning. Like,
Oh my goodness.
so what I would just say is, see, you cannot control what people think or say about you or how they gossip about you, but you can actually control your own thoughts
Your
and the way
reactions,
you react to all those things. So having in mind that people would always run their mouth, they would always talk. See, do you?
So
Do you?
So there was one other scenario I remembered, and I just feel to call out all of them at once. There was one of my really good friends was telling me the other day about how someone saw her, and was just like, Olayemi, you are bleaching. You are bleaching. And she's like, yo, but I don't know you like that. Like, why would you? And what she even did vex me. She was not telling her, oh, no, is this...
I said resist the urge
Oh,
to shalaye.
who are you?
I mean, make that your mantra. You will thank me later.
I'm done.
telling you.
That's all,
All
Sha.
right, guys.
Do better. Thank you
How
so
about
much.
moving on?
Yes, move on.
All right, let's move on. It's time for a quick recap of the entertainment news. And so we started with this particular one. Niola calls out former record label boss for sexual assault.
Righty, and we also told you that Bill Cosby has been granted appeal in sexual assault case. What is going on?
Eliza Rain rejects Features Child Support Fund.
Alrighty, guys, we'll be back shortly to find out which artist we are shining our spotlight on today on Where Are They Now? You better stay tuned. All the waist shaking and the thunder clapping.
I know, right?
Dancing.
I know, right?
Jam.
But are they still, can you compare them to Shakira with the waist
Oh,
shaking?
no, I don't think we can compare anyone
right,
to
I'm
Shakira.
just checking.
People are still upset that Beyonce did that Fulaya video.
I am.
I know, yeah.
I am.
I know.
I mean, stick to your strength. All right, guys, it's time for Where Are They Now? Let's see who we have today.
It's Where Are They Now? Eniola Kimbo, known professionally as Niola, is a Nigerian singer and songwriter who was inspired to pursue a career in music after attending the Fumi Adams concert. The singer then emerged runner-up in the Amen Starlet competition in 2000. She began her professional music career in 2005 and was briefly affiliated with LD's Tribe Records. Following her stint at Tribe, she signed a production deal with Make Some Noise Entertainment. Niola's first 3 singles, Me and You, In the Club, No More, and Them Say, were released under the imprint. In 2012, Niola signed a record deal with Empire Mates Entertainment. Any single, anytime soon, because your fans are here for it. Now you know where they are now.
Mr. Raw and Duncan Mighty on that one. Go badun, go badun, go badun. Well, I hope you're baduing us, guys.
They were talking about another thing entirely.
Well, we badun, and we hope you're baduing us. All right, guys. Now, the Nollywood films from the 90s era were epic, and for different reasons, it would be overkill if every single one of them were remade. But there are a select few we would love to see remakes of. So let's talk about 5 of our picks, because this is Daily Top 5!
5, 4, 3, 2, 1,
sorry. Okay, well, if that sounded familiar to you, it might be because Olamide has a song with the same title, Yemi My Lover, that was definitely inspired by the film. Yemi My Lover is a Yoruba film released in '93, and it would probably be classified as a mix of fantasy and maybe musical if it was recreated today. The story revolved around a guy who had fallen in love with a fish-turned woman. With more artists trying their hands at acting these days, it would be easy to find people to play the roles and maybe kill the singing as well. Check out a throwback clip from Yemi My Lover. My love. Yo, I can never forget this film, and this was supposed to be a romantic film, but somehow they managed to sound like it was a mourning sadness movie.
That was how they were doing love that year. That was, guess what? And this is my real name, Olayemi. True life story, guys. Do you know that there was somebody that asked me out at that point, like, did you watch Yemi My Lover? Like, what a line. At that time, I'd not even watched Yemi My Lover, so I had to like go and look for Yemi My Lover. but to watch, but then Moni Fere Yemi Moji Yemi Moji. What? Like, no, just wake me up. So I was reading about that guy. I think his name is Yemi Ayebo, and
okay,
he was talking about how he's done other movies that are even way interesting.
Now,
but then, you know, but we can't actually move on from this and all that.
But it would be interesting to see this film remade. I think definitely would be interesting. I'm wondering, who do you think should play the role that Yemi played? So it's
this contemporary.
Yes, right now. So if we were to remake
somebody
this film,
who can sing.
Yeah, or can do a bit of singing, yeah. Or we can find a way to make it work. Someone said Odunlade Adekola.
Okay, Yoruba.
Yeah.
Odunlade will just turn everything into I don't know. But maybe Odunlade, because you know that Odunlade is so, people love Odunlade, even people who don't understand Yoruba.
And they can do some voice training a bit just to get him to come.
And I think that they did so well because, you know, what we have right now is the refined Nollywood and all that. And there is always a process. And this I'll call the process because, I mean, for somebody to put in so much, I mean, they did even some Kiniko flying in the sky, in the air or something.
That bridge scene where they were running, I'm like, okay, I can only see the head of who's running, but it's okay. And
which one is Oma Bija Finisile? Oh, Wakan Lolu Femi. Yemi Lolu Femi. Oma Bija Finisile. Oh God, what a mess. Let's continue. Most Wanted is the next one. One of the most iconic things about the movie was the fashion and costuming. It was also one of the first Nollywood movies that depicted Nigerian women as very powerful. It's a break the bank, pun intended, if recreated now, because the women empowerment movement has gotten stronger. Imagine what can be done now with all the shooting scenes, kart races, and awesome style moments from the original. All right, take a look at this.
Yo, so I have a few things to say, Honeypot. Hopefully I won't cry because I'm laughing so hard. So first of all, shout out. I just want to thank God for Genevieve's life because her upgrade, Genevieve was not Genevieve in this, like she was just, this one, Regina, Asker, them. Then we took a Set It Off story, Set It Off, you know, Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett Smith, all of them, and did our own version. But as much as it was so funny, people liked it. It was epic.
No, it was everything.
It was epic.
And now, let me even tell you, even when I was serving in Anambra State, do you know that I would still go because it was always boring for me sometimes. So I would always go and look for all these old movies.
Yeah.
And then I was watching. And then I was watching a lot of all those ones made, you know, that they advertise at Onitsha or something and all that and all that. Or P Weka, you know, and all that at Ebimpejo Lane. Ebimpejo Lane.
Oh my goodness.
And all that. So you see, I think that they really tried, and I don't know where Ayo Adesanya and Regina Asker met, but I know that the last time I saw Regina Asker, she was still talking about, Ayo was supposed to be here, and this, that. So I see that closeness from working from way back together till now.
And I think, so one of the things, while we're watching the trailer, we were laughing so hard at the fact that, you know, the shooting scenes and all that.
But I feel like, and all that.
But I feel like with what we have now, we definitely would do a better job, I think.
Yeah, of course.
Which four actresses would you like to see?
Genevieve again.
Would you? Genevieve.
But Genevieve
in her 40s now.
Can we? No, it's not about age. It's about where you've positioned yourself.
Actually, to be fair, because Charlize Theron still does all this.
Yes, I think it's where you've actually positioned yourself.
But she's positioned herself to have moved on from this.
Adesua, told me.
Maybe Adesua.
Bisola.
Bisola would bring the humor.
Bisola would bring the humor.
Because I think about Sugar Rush when they had
thank
to
you
do
so
that
much. I
movie.
mean, that was the first thing that came to mind. And maybe Kule Remi. Kule Remi is very silly because this is what I see on Instagram. Not see. Like, I'm like...
Okay, so you want them to... Would you want it to be just female or you want them to introduce some guys in as well?
Of course.
You want guys in?
Of course. Of
no,
course.
Keep it...
Okay, female.
Yeah, let's do women
all right,
empowerment.
let's do the Sugar Rush, Bimbo.
Okay, so Bimbo,
Ademoye.
Bisola. Okay, all right. Take Makiwa.
No.
Okay, thanks. All right.
Maybe some diva kind of thing where you can put Toke, but not that you'll be saying Toke should carry gun and be doing. I don't understand that part. I mean, I cannot like, you know how in my head I cannot see it. I can't see it well. So please, no.
Okay. Alrighty, up next on our list of movies we would love to see remade. Hostages. Yes, Hostages was written in 1993 for TV and directed by Tadeo Guidon. It was released in 1996 as a film and was loved for its visuals. The story had a lot of twists and turns, and the film had had a lot of support from even the Nigerian police. And if it's recreated now with newer developments in the movie industry, I think it might just make it easier to recreate all the police scenes, and it will also be an opportunity to maybe shed light on some of the excesses of the Nigerian law. We struggled to try to get a clip of this, but it's a struggle. Like,
yeah.
So we couldn't do that.
So Hostages is one of those home movies I watched like way back, and like the first set of movies, and I can't actually forget. Yeah. I can't forget, although these days somehow you're trying to like remember or
vivid scenes,
like, vivid
yes,
scenes
and
all that.
It's fuzzy, but I remember, Anta Lanio was in this one, Larry Balogun, and just to see how like skinny they look then and young compared to now. Yeah. I think what Tadeo Guidon also did in that era was fantastic. The movies that he's known for, I mean, from Hostages, Dangerous Twins, all these other movies and stuff. And I think it would be nice to bring him back for the remake and have him direct again. Yeah. Unlike Living in Bondage, where it was Ramsey Noah who directed, I would like the original director.
So,
right? I would want him to.
Oh, interesting. Interesting. Yeah. I think I'll be looking forward to that. I hope that they can hear what we have said right now, and they would make it work.
Yeah. We're hoping, Sha. So if you're watching,
because I think Ramsey Noah actually set a pace. Like he did well
with Living in Bondage.
Right? I mean, we never saw that coming.
We didn't.
All right, guys, let's move on. Sango. This was a Yoruba story where the actor spoke English. It revolved around the life of a legendary 15th century Alaafin of Oyo, who later became a deity to the Yoruba people. It helped to set a tone for Wale Adebayo's career, who played the role of Sango. The movie is great for cultural referencing and would be perfect now since there is a whole generation that does not know a lot about Sango. With the innovation in movie technology now, it could be made into a superhero film like something Marvel or DC would shoot. Now, let's take a look at this.
Do not destroy your own subject.
I just want to say we have come a long way.
We have really come a long way.
But Honeypot, to be fair, when we think about like movies in the 90s, and they tried, they really tried.
They put in a lot, and you would see that it was just about passion. Like, first of all, passion. It wasn't like, money first, and then because I don't think they were earning so much, and they put everything. They improvised, for crying out loud. So I was reading up about Wale Adebayo. And I knew him in school too. And he was like a superstar because he was studying law. And he used to come to dramatic arts, Pit Theatre, we call it. Anybody who knows Obafemi University, and all that. And so he would come and act, and people were always calling me Shogo, and because of his height, and all that. And so I was reading about him, and he was talking about relocating to the US, and that drama was not, or acting was not giving him what he really wanted in Nigeria. And then he was talking about acting this Sango thing. He said he's been acting since he was a kid, and that in church he acted it, and he said that there are some so this thing about, I saw something on Twitter yesterday when somebody was talking about we should return what belongs to the white man and all that. So he was saying that he's a Catholic, but he believes that there are some supernatural things that actually happen happened. So you can't take away the fact that we had our own gods.
Yeah, the Oduduwa thing and our story
and
of...
so it was talking about how somebody wrote a story that was acting Sango and the fire burnt his, and then he said that he can't even deny the fact that it was burnt too, and that there was a time like that it wasn't indoors, they were going to act it, it was outside, outdoors, and you know, it would put kerosene in his mouth and then he would just spit it and the fire would come, and somehow that thing came back, the
Fire.
the wind blew the fire back to him and it was burnt. That his mother was in the crowd and his mother was like, ha! That he could hear his mother's voice shouting and all that, but then, you know, he had to finish the scene and all that.
That's intense.
And so he was saying that there are things that you can't play with, like there will be consequences. He didn't want to get into the consequences and all that, but he believes that these things are real and that we should shed more light on.
Wow, that is some insightful that's an insightful story. And also I think I like what you said about the Marvel or DC thing, because you know, when you think about Thanos, he had the heights going and you know that huge vibe. So I think Wale Adebayo should come back to do the Shango thing and
do it
with modern technology. I think
thank you so much. Yes, look at Wakanda. I mean, Wakanda could not even really get it because we're still saying that, you know, they didn't get the accent well and all that. This is the time to bring out all this. And I think that there are so many movies that we can write with our tradition, with things, go to the Benin Kingdom and see beautiful stories that you can make out of it. And then, I mean, I think that the Nollywood people should actually look towards, you know, doing stuff like this.
We keep looking for stories, but we have them right here at home. All right, final one on the list for today. Movies we would love to see remade, of course, Diamond Ring. The 1998 movie was very timely when it was released. It revolved around the life of Chidi, who was cajoled by his friends to join a cult, and in order to prove his worthiness, he was made to steal from a corpse who began to haunt him and all his friends. Spooky. With the advancement that, you know, the industry has made in recent times, it would be nice to see a more terrifying version of this story. Certainly will be Shola Shoboale for the vibes. All right, check this out, guys.
My friends and I took something off one woman on film.
Oh, wow.
Liz Benson with the spooky
So
vibes.
this was where we knew Teddy Babyface. I wonder what
Babyface.
will be going through the minds when they, when they throw it back to like this.
Yeah. And it was just very scary. I think Nollywood could, the way that we do scary, the way that we did scary was just very, very epic. Some people even say that Nigerian horror movies are even scarier than
because
Hollywood horror movies.
They believe that a ghost must always wear white.
Yes,
and must always have some chalk thing.
But definitely it would be nice to, you know, see this movie remade.
Right, guys, we wish we could actually say some more stuff, but then that's it on today's Top 5. We'll be back to wrap the show up.
Aww. Hey. Blackstreet Boys, quit playing games with my heart. We won't play games with your hearts, guys.
Never.
But we do have to go. Sorry, okay? We have enjoyed the show today, and we hope that you have as well. It's been so much fun doing this, of course, with Honeypot as well. Guys, we'll be back tomorrow, God willing. My name is Foladele. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon. It's not a TTT.
No.
It is a TT. We leave you with Oleku, Brimo, and Ice Prince. Absolute jam. Timeless stuff.
Tell me something where I know if you do.
Hey.